Well, hey, good morning. Welcome to the Blue Gamer Bluecast Morning Show. Almost forgot what it was called. I'm your host, Adam Blue, 30-plus year video game enthusiast and industry analyst. And today, for February 11th, 2025, we'll jump into the latest gaming news, what I've been playing, just some gaming talk. Good to see Ultronymous, Talos Mobius in the chat. I pulled a bunch of different interesting news stories, just of things that they're new to me, so we'll go through some of them together as we go through here. So yeah, it's still like dark and cold and even rainy. I have these windows in front of me, and normally the sun would be out, and I have to close them. But no, the sun is not out at all. The clouds have covered everything. Street lamp light that I could see out my window is on. It's that dark, and it's supposed to get colder. It's supposed to get rainier, maybe some more snow. And ice, we'll see. But I kind of hate that, because then that's where I don't go out as much. Like even yesterday after work, it was just kind of like, it's just too cold and rainy. God of War Greek Remaster scares me. Yeah, let's look at that here in a second. Actually, post already why that scares you, because when we get to that, we can talk about that a little more. Let's see. Let's jump into what I've been playing. It was yesterday, so not too much going on. I played a little bit of Godzilla. I'm just finishing up with Destroya, doing my run through. That's about it for that. Nier Automata. Interesting that this showed up, right? I started this on PS4 back when it first came out. And then, I don't know, other things happen. I think, again, this is an example. I think I was talking about it yesterday, where there was a certain time in my life, maybe 17, 18, in terms of like 2017, 2018, maybe a little before and after. Like there was an area where I was not as involved in gaming, probably more than the average person, but not as involved. So sometimes games like Nier would come out, and I would put some time and then move on. Because I played on PS4. Actually, yeah, because it came out on PS4 first. It was exclusive. Anyway, got on PC last year, played a little bit of it. Got back into it today. It's like, here's my thing with the game. Gameplay-wise, it's exactly the type of game I like. But it has almost this layer to it, this production to it of a JRPG. So there is pacing that usually I don't jive well with. So while Nier Automata plays like a real-time combat action, Twitch action, my type of game, the pacing, the structure is very JRPG, so that's where it's hard for me to just, get through. Okay, let's get to the next thing. Even like yesterday, we're going from one objective to the other. You had to just travel, walk, and then fight enemies along the way. And, it's reminded me how much, And so that's the other part of this too. Even though I like it because it's all gameplay heavy, mechanics, all that, it's still not like it's pretty deep and involved, but not as much as some other games. So that's what I think works with Nier. The music is amazing. It's almost like an experience as a whole of the best of that kind of game, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's interesting. Okay, so let's see, Talos, I'll go back to that about the PSP, because we'll definitely talk about that. I got 14 out of the 20-plus endings for Nier Automata. It's a beautiful game. Wow, 14 out of the 20-plus endings. Wow. Okay, now I'm just not going to play. No, I'm joking. Hey, Chris, good to see you. Still need to get through Nier Automata for Patreon, but I've put it off. Yeah, and I think that's the thing is, it's a cool game, but I think sometimes it gets boring. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I think it's more of, especially for me, it's like I play a lot of combat action games, character combat action games. So sometimes something has to like really pull me in. Nier doesn't have anything to really pull me in. But I will say I do like the combos. I like the feeling of pulling off the different combos between the X and Y button, because I really like games that do that. That's a good pacing there. Okay. And then the Smurfs mission, this is pronounced Vile-Leaf. I thought it was like Vil-Leaf, like Village and Leaf, but no, it's Vile-Leaf, because the bad guy is the Vile-Leaf. I guess I found out by the end of the game. This Smurfs game, I beat it. So it says 5 hours and 27 minutes. So between Sunday and Monday, I spent 5 hours and 27 minutes of my life on this Smurfs game. And I think everyone should. This is a very, very well made game. You might not like Smurfs. You might not care for it being a platformer, but its development and its production is better than a lot of AAA games. And yeah, there were some bugs. But they're actually very minor, and you could work around them. And actually, I can only name one bug. I read about a couple others. And so I spent maybe about 27 minutes. Went back to the first level. And actually, I really like the way it works because you have a map, and each world on the map has 3 points. So it's like 3 different sections that you could appear in. It's like a shortcut. So you can get the rest of the stuff because I have to use my little cleaning vacuum thingy to clean the rest of the corruption. Good game. I mean, if you like Breath of the Wild, if you like 3D Mario games, 100% you're going to like the Smurfs Mission Vile Leaf. I think because it's the Smurfs IP, most people are going to look over it. Sometime this week, I'm going to buy the second game and play through that because they're so fun. I actually didn't play Street Fighter 6 yesterday. I was really just playing a little bit of Godzilla, a little bit of Nier, a little bit of Smurfs. Fun time, though. And that's the thing, because it was all cold and rainy and wet, then we weren't going to go outside, so... Yeah, okay, so yeah, a little fun day yesterday, playing some games. Let's move to some news segments. Let's see. Koei, actually, let me do the, do I not have it here? I thought I pulled it up. Okay, here we go. Feeling Examination 6, what a name, who leaked Hell Is Us release date and quietly leaked Ninja Gaiden, says that a God of War Greek Saga remaster is coming to this week's State of Play. Says it's coming sooner than expected. Also, here's some receipts to show that he might be legit. You know, it's not too big of a deal to me. I'll trust them if they're saying that. However, just share some links from Lunatic Ignis, so some speculate this might be an alt account from him. Okay, interesting. So, let me go back, Talos, to what you're saying. Yeah, a few of them were released for the... Yeah, so Chains of Olympus and... Ghost of Sparta, right? Yeah, Chains of Olympus. And I played through and beat both of those. I really liked them. So... And... But that's the thing, I guess. At that time, I was willing to play a God of War game on PSP. You know, so really, if I was to play it now, that's why a remaster could be helpful. Due to some being for the PSP, I'm curious as how they'll transfer over to modern control. Okay, yeah. So I think the remaster would have to have them kind of, change the controls. Or here's the other thing. Actually, let me read the rest of yours. Okay. So here's what's interesting about this. I'm wondering what engine they're making this in. Who's making it? Like, that's, I guess, the curiosity around. Is the engine that the original God of War... Let's see. God of War engine. God of War engine. Well, I should say God of War PS2 engine. Kinetica. It sounds like the name of a game, but Santa Monica's Kinetica engine. So... what I'm wondering is if they're just going to port and then remaster the port. Are they going, just because of the in-house engine stuff? Have they done this in a brand new engine? I'm wondering if they're going to go all out and make the graphics look good, including the PSP. Because if they make them all look consistent and control consistent, that would be amazing. And actually, not even God of War 3, but even God of War 4. So it could be the 4 God of War games and the 2 PSP games. I wonder how they would do that. Would they release them all at once as a pack? Oh, hey, Steven, good to see you. Was God of War any good? Never got into the series. Yeah. Especially the first 3 God of War games are probably more than most people realize, especially the first game, influential in character action games in general. David Jaffe said it was Devil May Cry and Onimusha that that inspired his gameplay mechanics in God of War. And then from that, we just saw so many games come out, like that Conan 360 PS3 game, amazing God of War clone. And remember, that was the term used a lot during that time, was God of War clone. Dante's Inferno, amazing God of War clone. And then I don't know what happened. I think Western developers stopped making character action games, because then I think we got, from Platinum, it was the, the Metal Gear Solid Raiden dude. I forgot the name of that one. And I felt like maybe it was after that point, I felt like we weren't getting many character action games. I think we got a lot of indie character action games. I remember so many. There was this like Marlo Briggs character action game. There was the purple-hued robot girl character action games. I forget what those are called, but there's a few. Yeah, I felt like the character action game went away. It was very interesting. And I think it was Revengeance, thank you. And I think it was to sort of tighten up games to feel more prestige, like what the new God of War did. And I think that was Resident Evil 4 that did that. Resident Evil 4, I think, kind of changed the way you control and look at a game, and then it kind of splintered off. And I think then the character action game combat in the Resident Evil 4 cameras kind of combined, and that's where you got, all these, like PlayStation character action games, pretty much. And I think a little bit of Gears of War, another GOW. Gears of War, I think, with their camera system, third person, because with the God of War on the PlayStation, the Greek, you weren't like right behind the character, It was a little isometric, a little pulled up. It allowed you to get a better view of how you were fighting. And I think that's the main difference, because once you get to the God of War 2018, the camera's right behind Kratos. It's a little slower paced. Yeah, too much scripted action. It made the character badass, but doesn't make the player feel like badass. That's a good point, because the camera pulled down, it's more toned in. It's a lot more scripted. The areas are, very scripted. There was that red-haired girl on PS3 who used two-chain sword. Yeah, that was Sword of, I remember I played a lot of that game too, and I didn't beat it, and that was made by the people who did Hellblade. So you see how they've even moved into the direction of the very cinematic prestige, honed-in camera, scripted action sequences. Yeah, they did Enslaved. Yeah, Ninja Theory, right? Yeah, it's very interesting. Okay. So anyway, my thing with this is it's really cool that they're going to come out with a God of War Greek collection. Is it going to be all 6 games? Are they going to spread them out? Are they going to drip release them? Is it in a badass new engine that it looks amazing? I am curious what they're going to do. Heavenly Sword. Thanks, Ultronimus. Or Chris. Yeah, Chris, thank you. But no, Blood Rain is another good example, because they came out with a Blood Rain. They came out with some sequels that were then lower budgeted, but Blood Rain's a good example. Yeah, I think Blood Rain. Actually, let me look at when did Blood Rain come out? PS2 ROM. Did I really search for that? I don't think so. 2002. And who was the developer? Terminal Reality, really good developer. Louisville. Oh, I knew that. Yeah, they did the Ghostbusters game and all that. Yeah. God of War PS2. 2005. So really, yeah, Blood Rain. I think Blood Rain would have had some influence in some way on God of War. Maybe they didn't know, or because he does his Onimusha in Devil May Cry, which makes sense. Anyway, and that's another thing. I was a huge fan of the God of War games. So when the 2018, and I played them all, when the 2018 came out, I was like, what's this? This isn't a character action game anymore. So, oh yeah, there's multiple Blood Rain movies, and yeah, the actress, in one of them, let's see, yeah, there's 3, I guess. Yeah, let's see, the actress they started using in 2 and 3, I want to say she played Ayane in the Dead or Alive movie, which I'm a huge fan, and because it's gaming. Yeah, Dead or Alive, Ayane. Yep. Anyway, let's look at this. Koei Tecmo appoints new CEO as co-founders Yoichi. So I don't know why they're stepping back. Creativity. I like Koei Tecmo, if I'm saying that right. They do some amazing work, so I'm curious why. Let's see. Dynasty Warriors Ninja Gaiden developer Koei Tecmo has appointed Sashi Koinuma as its new CEO. Koinuma will begin his tenure as representative director, president, and CEO starting April 1st, 2025. He previously served as representative director and CEO of. Okay, so he's been around. He replaces outgoing president and CEO, who will remain with the company as representative director and chairman. Oh, so it doesn't really look like it's much. This is very press release and not like industry changing. Although it's saying it's a notable shift for the Japanese company. Arikawa founded Koei Tecmo alongside his wife in '78. Back then, the company was simply known as Koei and focused on personal computer sales. It soon pivoted into game development and eventually adopted its current moniker following the merger with Tecmo in 2008. Wow, I don't know if 2008 was a long time ago or not that long ago anymore. I don't know. Okay, that seems very press release. I thought that was going to be more of a bigger deal because I do think they make excellent games. There are so many good games like Neo, Wulong, or whatever that one was. Actually, let me go to the wiki. I doubt they're even going to have their list of games here. Could they possibly? Yeah, I don't think so. Franchises, Dynasty Warriors, Dead or Alive, Neo, Ninja Gaiden, and then a bunch of others here that I'm sure others know. And then there's some other games too that aren't even listed here that they've worked on. But they've made so many games. Didn't they even do the my favorite game that came out of nowhere last year that oh my God, Wanted? Yeah, was it an Itagaki game? Is he still there? Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Oh, it doesn't have the name of the game on here. Interesting. But Devil's Third, that was bad but good at the same time. Yeah, look at all these games. Look at all of these games. And this is not just Koei Tecmo. This is that Itagaki dude. It was really funny. He was a character. Anyway, moving on. Assassin's Creed Shadows director. Players aren't missing out if they mainly play as one character. So it's weird reading this right here because what this means is you could actually play all of Assassin's Creed Shadows with. It's like you don't have to switch. Mainly, maybe it says mainly, but if that means you don't have to switch, that is really cool. That really tells me that the nature of this game is very open ended, and that they're not forcing you to do things. Let's see. While players can switch between them throughout the game, the director says they shouldn't have to worry on missing large swaths of content if they'd rather play mainly as a single character. That's really cool because I don't know how it's going to feel playing between these two. I love the idea of the stealthy ninja, the brutish kind of samurai. I'm curious if as I play, like, I'm going to, I'd rather do this. But I like that choice is there. So it almost gives people options on how they want to play their Assassin's Creed. I like that because like when I was playing Metal Gear Solid 5, I think on stream, and I like was sneaking around and then I died. I'm like, F this. And I just run in, destroy the place. And I kind of like to do that in games. Where one time I wanted stealth, one time I want to blow stuff up. I was going to cuss, decide I shouldn't, but it's like, why not? It's a morning show with adults. Okay. Let's see. For AC Shadows, you could tell that from the beginning. What do you mean? Tell that you only had to be one character? I was assuming just as you played the game, like there are areas where you would switch to one character to do something. But it sounds like they're saying like you don't actually have to, which is pretty cool. Let's see. Let me move on. Stellar Blade's developer expects the PC version to sell better than the PS5 one, of course. This is news for me because one, they're kind of double downing on, yeah, look, PC version's coming out. Double downing. I gotta say doubling down. The other part is I want a date. We have identified and analyzed both successful and underperforming cases of console exclusive released on PC, and we are preparing to release the game in a way that ensures continued success in the PC market. Shift Up says steps taken to ensure the PC version include optimization, enhancing user convenience, adding supplementary content. Why can't I say that word? Supplementary. No, there's a way to say that. I think I'm adding an extra syllable, but let's move on. And tailored marketing strategies unique to Shift Up. It also plans to make sure the game runs smoothly. So this is an ultra mobile PC. Okay, so Steam Deck Aces ROG Ally. This is awesome stuff here because, yeah, sure, it makes sense. Stellar Blade would be on PC. It's going to run better. I prefer to play it on there. But the fact that they're really talking about, we're going to make sure it's optimized. It's going to have content, supplementary content. I think I said it right there. They said the PS5 version has sold more than 1 million and be continuously updated like a live service game. I can't wait. Heard something outside. Yeah, I can't wait for it to come out on PC. Okay. Oh, yeah, mostly playing one character. Yeah, I had never heard anything that said you could just play with one character. They're not even saying that because all the arguments people are having online are about being forced to play characters, you know. All right, why The Order 1886 didn't get a sequel? I was curious about this. I played through it and beat it. This is an example. This goes back to what we were talking about of making these kind of prestige, tighter third-person action games or third-person games that are more narrative-driven, which is fine. But while this game was fun, the combat was lacking. And I think this is where they were doubling down on the prestige game, the graphics. Yeah, 1886. It was a one-and-done game released on PlayStation 4 in 2015. Yeah, very interesting. And I know I didn't get a sequel. It's just because while it was a fun, unique experience, it wasn't like it was calling you back. It wasn't like people were wanting more because it's like they and this is, in my opinion, the same thing with God of War 2018. They work so hard to try to make it so cinematic and like a movie that other aspect of the movie occurs where sometimes it's a one-time experience and then you move on. And I know even Netflix is trying to find ways to get people to stay in a show or a movie. That's why, make the movies long. My thought is make them short, but make them rewatchable. Okay. Let's move this other one. Another classic Resident Evil game has been rated for current-gen consoles. I mean, is every Resident Evil now a classic, pretty much? Resident Evil 5 has been classified. So I know this was leaked earlier, a rumor or something like that. Oh, last month it was 6. So 5 and 6. I'm curious what their plans are with those titles. I really am curious what they're going to do. If they're just going to release them as is, as the latest versions, or are they going to change them up? Are they going to give them the Resident Evil 2, 3, 4 treatment that they've been doing? I kind of hope so. It'll be interesting to see that done with a game like that, and then the God of War games given an updated treatment, because I'm really interested in seeing, is remaster the right word? Remake done of more modern games, and not just an old game. Really interested to see how that turns out. Hey, JHP, I'm Korean, and when I look at interviews in Korea, Shift Up has high expectations for the PC version. They are looking at and analyzing the success and failure case of PC version of exclusive games. I'm glad they're taking that. Thanks for that insight. I'm glad they're taking it that seriously because played the demo on PlayStation and I was like, I'll wait and buy this on PC. And I'm waiting. Resident Evil 5 was amazing. Yeah, I liked Resident Evil 5 too. Let's see. Oh, the Resident Evil 6 skins and RE4 remake skins were just added to Dead by Daylight last night. Were you playing that too? I think I saw like a video or a post you made. All right. Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick has seemingly teased plans to bring Grand Theft Auto 6 to PC at some point. Well, okay. Hinting at eventual. Well, I don't need to read the rest of this. They're doing what they did before. They get, which it's weird. This is what I think they know. If you're a fan of Grand Theft Auto, you have a console. If you're a PC gamer that's a fan of Grand Theft Auto, you probably have a console. So I think that's why they did the same thing with 5. Release it on console. And are they doing it to where they can release it on Xbox One, PS5, and then we'll get the next iteration just a year later? This is what happened with Grand Theft Auto 5, and then they re-release it again. I bought it. I rebought it. I think I had it on PS3 and then PS4. I forget if it was that or Xbox. And then, you know, it's interesting that they can do that. Because I would buy Grand Theft Auto on PC day one, but I don't know. Relic strategy following its... Okay, so I always found this interesting. I really liked Relic, the games they did. They did the Dawn of War, Space Marine. They helped me get into Warhammer, that aspect of it. And they're no longer with Sega, which is very interesting, because I got to hand it to Sega for them... Like, at that time, the time that they had Relic Entertainment made so much sense. Like, I couldn't believe Sega was doing that. It was like, wow, ever since the Dreamcast... Wasn't too sure what their thing was. Did they want to move away from kind of a Western philosophy? But they went with Relic and made some great games. But now they're on their own, so I'm really curious to see what comes of them. Because that Dawn of War 3 wasn't great, but I think the Dawn of War 4 has been teased. So we'll see. All right. Okay, yeah, we're getting up to time. We've got a few more things. Let's see. I don't think that was anything. No, I think that's it. I think I covered the main news I was grabbing. Let's see. Let's see what else is going on in here. Remake is recreating the game from the ground up with new features, details, etc. Remaster is just an upscaled port to me. Yeah, exactly. So that's why I'm curious what they would do with a game like Resident Evil 5 that's almost kind of modern in a way, and a remaster is really all you would need, but also a remake. What if they were from the ground up going to kind of tweak the gameplay, maybe make it feel more like the Resident Evil 4 remake? I'm really curious what they do with that. Let's see what else is going on. As for optimization, this is from JHP, they said they are preparing it so that it could be played smooth on Steam Deck. Oh, and like ROG Ally, yeah, I was reading that, and it was great because I got a ROG Ally. But what's come to me recently is when I was streaming my Steam games onto my ROG Ally instead of playing them natively, and I was just as impressed. And because that's what I was thinking, I was like, man, maybe I should just get Stellar Blade on my PlayStation 5 since I got my Portal now, and I want to make use of that. Which I might still do because I'd rather use the PlayStation Portal controls than the ROG Ally controls as I play the game, even though the ROG Ally controls are not bad. I have time to think about it. Capcom would have to do a full remake using the RE engine. And that's what I'm wondering if that's what they're going to do. Just because they've already done that with all of their others. All the other Resident Evil games. Yeah. Okay, well, I think we'll end it there. Yeah, we just went through some news. I don't have any other extra stuff, but thanks all for joining. Thanks for the commentary. Thanks, JHP, for showing up. And, yeah, we'll all talk later. Have a good day.